Morning YouTube, is Auston Holleman live from Pattaya, Thailand. Today we're gonna have a day of me just going to the grocery store, pick up some things. I need to wash clothes, I need to edit some videos. I have not uploaded videos in 2 days for some reason. I think I've been in Asia long enough, and the point I'm feeling like my content is starting to get a little repetitive. So I'm not even really uploading really like that, just because it's time for me to change the scenery. That's why I want to go to India, where it'll be a complete culture shock and it'll be day and night difference from anywhere else I've ever been. And I'll be able to record a lot more. But I enjoy my time here in Asia, but I've been enough places, or at least Southeast Asia for the most part. But today I want to talk about why I enjoy dating black women outside the United States better than black women in the United States. Disclaimer: a lot of dudes love to say, "Oh, Auston, you're pandering. How the fuck am I pandering for having a preference of women?" And I express it the same way how I express how I don't like American women. I'm gonna express the same way how I love black women. I'll give you another disclaimer: black women are not exclusive to the United States. God damn it. There are black people in other countries. I don't know why people think when I say, "Oh, I love black women," that, I'm talking about US black women. There's a reason why I was in Brazil. You can ask Fred, anybody. If you look at the women I dealt with in Brazil, just about 80% of them were black. So what are we talking about pandering to black women? Like, oh, you just want to get out of trouble with them. You think I give a fuck what an American woman thinks about me? Anyway, one reason that I enjoy dating black women outside of the United States is because it reminds me of the stories that people told me of what it was like to date black women before I was born. I was born in 1999. I think I was born at the end of the good times for dating black women. Outside the United States, a place like Brazil, or if you I met some black women in Colombia. They're not, yes, they are still black people. They have similarities. Some of them do look up to Americans, but they are not the same at all. They're not the same at all. There's nothing even, there's a day and night difference, but you do notice some similarities, but there is still a day and night difference on how black women treat you, how they show their level of interest, how they behave, how sweet they are, how feminine. There's a difference, huge difference. I haven't been to Africa, but even just looking at the women in Africa, it seems like they're just not the same, especially in a place like Ethiopia. Another point that I want to bring up is that black women outside the United States are in better shape. Guys, this is not even up for discussion. America is either number one or number two fattest country in the world, and I believe it's something like 60% of that are obese, and that's amongst all races. That being said, if you look at the data in America, the majority of women of all races are overweight. But when you narrow it down to black women, I believe it's like 80% of black women are overweight. Guys, I'm in the gym 4 times a week. I'm not settling for somebody that's not in the gym. That's just not, gym girls just look way too good for me. I'm not saying she gotta be a bodybuilder, but it is nice to see a nice toned body. So if you're not in the gym, I mean, the chances of me marrying you are slim. But black women outside the United States have a better chance of getting married to me because they're in shape. They're in the gym. They take care of their bodies. They eat healthy. And there's really no excuse for that. Anybody can, you don't even need a gym membership to work out. You can work out in a fucking living room. Now, another thing I like about black women outside the United States is that they are all natural. Guys, when I was in Brazil, yes, they have weave in Brazil. Yes, they have makeup. But that kind of stuff is not the norm that you're just bumping into left and right. And if anybody tells you it is, they haven't been there. And if they did go there, they weren't there longer than 2 days. Down there, you literally could go on a date with a white t-shirt, and the t-shirt is still white on your shoulder when she leans her head on your shoulder. That if it's any color, it's because they were sweating. But it's not like makeup, like, oh, you're not gonna be able to wash this out after a date. I cannot tell you how many times I went on a date in the United States and I had to buy new clothes after the date. It's just not worth it, y'all. I enjoy my clothes. If I buy a white shirt, I want that motherfucker to be white when I leave you too. Outside the United States, they're all natural. Yes, they have BBLs and all that kind of stuff, but it's not the norm. Women are actually putting in the work to improve their body rather than masking it. For example, instead of putting on a fuck ton of makeup, what they do is they drink water, eat healthy, wash their face, take care of their skin, and in return, your skin gets a better look to it. It gets healthier. They don't get a BBL. They take their ass to the gym and they eat healthy. It's just so simple, but people in the United States want a cheat code. And that's what makes the black women in the States kind of a little undesirable. Black women outside the United States have a way better attitude. I cannot tell you that Guys, I told you when I first went to Rio and I came back, I cried because of how I was treated. Because I got to enjoy my life too, but because of how I was treated. I had never, ever been around a black woman that didn't have to be right about everything, that didn't squash the arguments. Like, we could disagree, she give 2 or 3 talking points, and then she say, okay, you know what, I don't even want to argue about it. I cannot recall one time in South America that I had a full out argument where my heart was, you know when you argue with somebody, you start to get stressed and your chest start to hurt. I can't recall that happening one time in South America. Other places, yes. But South America, no. United States, yes. Yes, they love to argue. The attitude is shit. And nobody wants to deal with that. Men want peace, not to argue. But those women just have a way better outlook on life. Outside the United States, black women just have they just view things so much more positively. And of course, this is not all women in the United States are undesirable, but put it like this, the black women that are desirable are in such low amount. The competition is fucking ridiculous when you do find one. And that's where we get into the whole, he has to have $1 million house and all this other crazy stuff. They know their demand, so their expectations get ridiculously high. Black women outside the United States are a lot more cooperative. Now let's define cooperative. Define cooperative.
As an adjective, cooperative means involving mutual assistance in working towards a common goal.
Okay, so as you heard Siri say, working in mutual assistance to have a common goal, towards a common goal. So if the common goal is to raise a family, they make that easy. If the common goal is just a hookup, they make that easy. If the common goal is just to go on a date and enjoy yourself, they make that easy. And that means like being on time. Either way it goes, my point is, anything that you're doing with them will be on average a lot more easier than it would in the United States. But women, type in, if my old TikTok wouldn't have got deleted, you can see where I was referring to women in South America as being cooperative, and black women said, why do we have to cooperate? Nobody's your slave. Okay, you keep thinking like that and I'm just not gonna with you. Black women outside the United States are a lot more thoughtful. I'm gonna tell you like this, anytime I went to South America, the women would be at the airport. They would be at the airport waiting on you. Not in the car, not outside the airport. They'll be waiting for you to leave the bag return, and they'll be waiting on you. And they'll have a gift for you. That's just something so thoughtful that, I'm not saying you can't get in the States, but I'm not gonna pretend like it's just common for you to get it in the States either. Black women outside, and this is not something I'm ready for right now, but I do want to do one day, soon. Black women outside the United States are ready to build a family. A lot of these countries that still have high populations of black people, their family structure is not destroyed like it is in the United States. Like in Brazil, I noticed that there was a lot of women that still lived with their parents, and I'm saying that to say that they still have a sense of family. You know, they have a sense of connection with their family versus in the States. It's a lot of pressure on you to get out of the house, to be independent. And that's cool, but you also lose family value with that. And I need to reproduce. I would love to keep the human population going, and you don't do that by not starting a family. So, but to wrap it up, I touched on a few of the main points that I think. Let me know what you guys think, but I want to say this as well. And I want to disclaim this again. I'm not saying there's no good black women in the States, but I'm also not saying that they're common. And I'm not saying that your experience with black women outside the United States will be the same as mine, because you might be goofy. You might not get the same experience as me. But I'm just letting you know how it's been for me and apparently a lot of other men. But I want to say this. I do not care why black women have gotten the way that they've gotten. You know why? Because it's not my responsibility. I'm 23. Y'all love to say, oh, it was slavery. Well, that shit was damn near 200 years ago. I was born 23 years ago. What the hell do I have to do with that? That is not my problem. There were slaves in South America. Okay, Africa just recently was colonized in the past 100 years. A lot of those countries were colonized in the early 1900s. That was sooner than slavery was in the United States. And you still have a better shot with them over there. So I don't care why black women have gotten. I don't care what happened. That's not my problem. You fix it. We're all adults. You fix it. Us men that decide to travel, we'll be enjoying it somewhere else. say that restaurant just got over. I drank 2 soda waters. Those soda waters at the convenience store next door to it are 20 baht a piece. They just charged me 60 baht a piece. But that's part of, you know, when you buy stuff out, they charge you a lot, including alcohol, especially alcohol. We are at the kebabist right here getting something to eat. And I have fell in love with Indian food since last night, because yesterday we went and ate some Indian food. I was like, damn, I forgot how much seasoning they put on their food. So I had to have some more, so we're back over here to check it out. I think I want some more chicken again, because that's what I had was chicken that made me react like that. Alright, you guys, so we just finished eating. The food was absolutely amazing, and I will say the food is making me the most excited to go to India. And Indian people can generally be very attentive, and I noticed that when I go to their restaurants, they're very attentive. And I've known some Indian people too that were like that. But yeah, this is called the Kebabist, so make sure y'all check them out if y'all come to Pattaya. But if you like that video, give the video a like. Subscribe if you have not already. Leave a comment on what you thought. Share this video with somebody that may have found it informative. And my cash app is $Auston Holleman. PayPal, austonholleman@gmail.com. I'll see y'all in the next video. Stand bad.